Ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure for me to be here today to speak to you. It's something I never dreamed I would do. I've often faced people and audiences before, but nothing like this. It's great to be here anyway. Brenda's asked me to say how I dealt with myeloma. While every family deals with it in a different way, and I think the people who probably have the worst time is the people who live with the patients of myeloma. And in my case, well, Brenda's married, she's 2 kids, and she has a husband, and she lives 100 miles away. So we don't see her that often. We do hear a lot from her, all right, but so we're removed a fair bit from Brenda and her myeloma. But I remember the day that Brenda rang me and said, "Hi Dad, I'm a bit sick, I have cancer and there's no cure." And I didn't know what to say because I was mumbling to myself, "What's this, Brenda? What do you mean there's no cure?" She said, "Dad, it's like this. I have to go through a process of treatment and I don't know what the results are going to be." So I said, "Okay, you know, you might as well." I didn't know what to say, as I said to you. So from time to time, I got reports about Brenda, how she was doing. She had to go into hospital. She had to receive some stem treatment. The treatment was quite severe. And during that time, I didn't actually visit her, or I didn't go down and see her. So you can probably think I'm a bit cold, but I'm not really. I was waiting to see what would happen. And I decided then in her second term of treatment that I would go up to Tala Hospital and see what this was all about. So I went up with the young lad and went into Tala Hospital. I had no preconceived idea what Brenda would be like or look like. And I walked into the ward and Brenda was in the bed there. She was there on her own. She was looking out the window and I was just going to go over and say, "Hello, Brenda." And she turned around and I stopped in my tracks because I just could not believe what I saw. I was totally shocked. It was a terrible sight. And I'd say it was the biggest dose of reality I ever got in my life that day. I just could not believe that this was my daughter and that she really looked very bad now to me, terrible. And I, myself, in the job I was in, had seen an awful lot of atrocities committed and investigated them. But nothing compared me for this today, on that particular day. And I had intended to stay just 2 hours, would be normal, have the chat, but in fact I stayed 8 hours. And it's a day that I'll never forget. It'll never leave my mind. It was just, I just can't describe it to you, but that was it. And Brenda, in the middle of the whole lot, decided to say, "It's not that bad, Dad, you know, sure, I'm getting on, you know, I'm getting better." And I was saying to myself, well, I don't know who she's talking to, but it didn't look very well to me. Now, that day I had a serious fear that Brenda wouldn't be with us because it didn't look good to me. So I went home anyway, and I kept thinking about it, you know, and wondering. And I also felt that I had been sitting on the ditch a wee bit, when I should have visited her earlier than that, and I didn't. And that didn't go down too well either with me, you know. But anyway, I carried on, and I got a text one day saying, "Hi Dad, I'm in remission." And I was beginning to wonder, like, you know, one day you're looking at her and to me she wasn't going to make it, and the next day she's in remission. And I said, that's great news, you know, and it was a great relief to me because it took me off the hook, basically, you know. So Brenda came down to see us then sometime in October, I think it was Halloween, and it was dark, of course, and I opened the door and I said, "Hello, yes?" I thought it was somebody selling tickets because I didn't recognize, and she's a child, but I didn't recognize her. And I said to her, "Brenda, where's the rest of you?" Because when I saw her in the hospital, she was very big, and when I was looking at her that day, she was skin and bone. I said, oh, this is amazing, you know. But and he went on from that, and Brenda then started to tell me, well, hello, Dad, I'm going to climb Croagh. And I was saying to myself, well, I've been up Croagh a few times. And I said, Croagh? And then she tells me she's going to the Vatican. And then she ends up in Lourdes. And I'm going to saying to myself, God, this myeloma, you know, it certainly gets people moving anyway, you know. You know? And because in all fairness, I wouldn't say Brendan now would have been the busiest person like when she was a bit younger, do you know? Now, I'm not saying that. She's not here anyway, thank God, you know. Oh, sorry, I'm sorry. And I just happened to... And every time she appears, you know, I say, well, where are you going next, you know? And her mother and myself, we chat, and we never say how Brenda is. The question you'd be doing the cross, we say, I wonder what Brenda's up to. Because you never know. And as I did say to her I think it was about a couple of weeks ago, I said, you didn't get the notification from NASA yet, because I wouldn't be one bit surprised if you end up on the space station some of these days, you know. But that all being said, one person is here who I think was a great help to Brenda during the early days. That's her mother. She was down with her, and of course, I think it was great help to Brenda and to Brian that she was there, because she saw us as it was. And I think it would have been a great relief to Brenda, you know. But things have moved on. Brenda now told me today that this is not a fashion stakes today with women or things like that. She said it's about myeloma, and she gave me a list of things that I wasn't to say today. And you're to do this and to do that. And of course, I decided I'd just say it as it was, you know. And I have to say that I'm delighted to meet so many people here. I know that you all have this illness. I was lucky. It passed me by anyway. But that doesn't, you know, the future is always the future. But that's my story, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a big thing. It won't sell newspapers or anything like that. But I couldn't leave here without mentioning the medical teams that you all have, because without them, well, you know yourself, they're absolutely... There's only one word I can describe them as priceless. That's about the height of it. And I won't go into details. And it's an honour for me to be here today, because I know that I'm speaking to people who are both very brave and very courageous in the way that they deal with their illness. I don't know how I'd deal with it if I had it. I just don't know. And all I can say to you is use people of my own age group that the road through life is very hard, and it's a very long one, and it's filled with the good and the bad, the ups and the downs, and there's sorrow and there's joy in it. But I know that if all of you that have myeloma have stout hearts, you will get to the end of that road. There's no doubt about that, if your hearts are strong enough and achieve what you set out to do. And it's your courage, I think, that'll take you down that road. And it'll be your guiding star that'll show you the way. So it's been a pleasure, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much.